Morning, tubers. I hope you guys are being sociable. Sociable! I'm coming to you today with another topic. What is the biggest reasons why a relationship doesn't work? Check us out.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You are listening to Vantage Point Ladies Edition. You are in the Queendom with your girl, Lady D.
It's
And,
me, Angie
ooh,
Pooh.
go ahead, Angie Pooh.
Hey.
And we are coming to you from the Queendom tonight. We have an interesting topic that we gave the guys last week, well, this week. And tonight's topic is
The biggest reason why your relationships don't work.
yes, we're gonna just and I like this topic because it's a broad one, and
Yes.
so we're just gonna anything goes. Whatever reasons you think that relationships don't work. So
I got my papers.
I have a list of reasons, tentative reasons. So we could go through those as the night goes on. Once again, you are tuned in to Radio 1 AM 1000. This is Vantage Point Ladies Edition. We are on every Wednesday and Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can catch the guys on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we're just tackling all the hot topics between men and women, relationships, families, and all those great stuff.
Yes.
Alrighty then. So, who wants to start?
You got it.
I,
I'm your backup.
okay, so like I said, I have a list of possible reasons why relationships don't work.
Okay.
Um, so one reason is trust issues.
Of course.
Another reason is, sometimes you have different expectations, different priorities, different. Sometimes people are on different levels and different life paths.
Mm-hmm.
So you might like the person, you want to get with them, but it doesn't necessarily, you're not moving in the same direction at the same time. Sometimes there's compatibility issues, communication
Mm-hmm.
issues. This great word that we've been coming up in different shows, narcissism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sometimes the relationship can be abusive. That's a
Exactly.
reason to end
Mm-hmm.
a relationship. You might have, uh, you might grow apart, boredom, staleness in a relationship. It definitely causes, I think that causes infidelity
Yeah,
sometimes.
for sure.
And the number one was like financial issues.
Okay. Okay.
And then talking to some other people, I've had people say that they think social media
Oh, social media that should be
is
high
is
up.
yes. So it's so funny because when you look up the topic, it's not there, but I guess you're looking it up on social media. So,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the number one causes that a lot of people just talking to people have said is social media because of the availability. You're just so it's easy. It's constant, easy contact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People could reach out to you and slide in your DMs. I'm proud of myself that I know what that means now.
Oh, shucks.
Because there was a point in time where I did
You
not
didn't know
know.
what Dion was.
No, I thought it was an app, and I was looking for this app, and I couldn't find this DM
Dion
app.
map.
And I asked my niece about it, and she's looking at me like, no, auntie, it's like it's
It's a
called.
messenger.
She's like direct messenger. I was like, okay, well, I don't see an app that says direct messenger. I don't get it. She's like, no, like your inbox, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, so they can slide in your DM on any social media platform
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
a lot of them have direct messaging.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and your significant other would never know unless they get into your account or your phone.
Yep.
You could be having a whole nother relationship in the DMs
It
because
go
they go
down
down
in
in the
the
DMs.
DMs. It go down.
So let me hear from you, Angie Poo. What do you think the biggest reason for why relationships don't work?
So one is false start.
What explain? What do you
So
mean
when
by
you
false
meet
start?
someone, you tend to have all these butterflies, everything first, everything is great, and then 18 months, because the average relationship, is 18 months in the beginning where you just love, love, love,
You're
kiss,
talking
kiss,
about
kiss.
the honeymoon phase. So that's
Yes.
not okay. So when you said false start, I'm like, we talking about? Oh, you're
You know,
talking
I
about.
always give things a different name. Come
You're
on,
talking
this is
about.
what I
You're talking
do.
about the honeymoon phase. So
Yes.
basically, you're saying that they get into these relationships, and you have this great, because the honeymoon phase is always good.
It's always good.
The beginning of any unless y'all are just really not meant to be together, the beginning of every relationship is like amazing.
It's
So
it. And it plateau up and it be nice and it's good. It feel good. You be like, yeah. And then it go sour. So these are my things. Like I say false start because they send their representative in to the relationship. And then once you get to know them, you be like, wow, I don't even like him. So
ooh,
don't talk too much. The poor communication.
bad communication. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was one of mine.
Yeah, because some men don't talk
And when they do talk, they don't say the
things that we need to hear.
or that they mean to say.
Okay. And then we talk too much.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. A lot of times.
Too much for them.
For them. Yeah.
Yes,
But not each other.
Not that we talk too much, but too much for them.
Yes. Of course, cheating.
Infidelity.
Yes.
And that, like I said, sometimes when the relationship gets stale, also when you have that social media aspect, it's very easy because you're now you're out of that honeymoon phase. And so that person that was brand new next to you is no longer new. She's comfortable, so she done popped off the nails. She taking off her lace front at night, where she was going to sleep with the lace front because she didn't want you to know. So now it don't look the same, and then you're on social media and you're seeing all that new. You know what I'm saying? So now you're looking for something that looks brand new, because you're no longer in that honeymoon phase. So all of those things lead to, like you said, infidelity.
For sure. Number one of the things that I thought was competing against one another.
And you know what? That's so funny because I've heard that a lot
Mm-hmm.
in relationships. But why do you think that is? Like you're it's almost like a jealousy between
For sure.
but why you should want each other to win? You should
It's not that we don't want each other to win, but when one person wins and the other one is stagnant, it looks different.
Okay.
They can't handle that. Like, that's where it would cause a problem because if and let me just keep on going.
Yes.
Because when people are not happy with themselves,
yes.
that's when those things start to happen. The competing against one another.
I never understood that, but that is definitely a aspect that I've heard in many relationships.
Yeah. And when you're in that false start, the same things you did to get me, you don't do to keep me. So that's another thing that starts the relationship to go left.
Yes.
Because they the bomb. They representatives be the bomb. I be like, wow.
Yeah.
I think I like you, and then 2 years later, you like, ugh.
What happened to the guy that I met 2 years ago?
He's not the same. Values.
Values. Okay, if you start to realize that you don't have the same values.
We don't have the same values.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think you spoke upon the timing, the maturity level.
Yes.
We got abuse, mentally, physically, disagreements, not knowing how to fight.
Okay.
Because you can fight and it's not aggressive.
Okay, I think we need to take the word fight out first.
Okay, disagree. We can have disagreement.
If we wanted to not be aggressive, because when you say fight, my fist ball up.
Oh no. I'm just saying, like, we going to the summit meeting and we're talking it out, like, negotiations and considerations.
You have to learn how to diplomatically disagree.
That's right.
Or and learn how to talk things out without it, like you're saying, becoming confrontational.
No,
or
confrontation.
Aggressive. Yes. That's a hard one.
That is hard. It is hard.
You have emotions and feelings, and especially when you're dealing, I don't know, there's something about love that just makes you want to get more angry than you need to be.
Okay.
It's like, But why am I so upset? I don't know, but I'm mad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to take it anymore.
No, the lack of respect.
Yes, I think respect is really, really, really important. I think that unknowingly that messes up a lot of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that also ties into what you said with values.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you have different values, you have a different concept of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's times when women disrespect their men unknowingly because they have different values from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the man pulls them up, they don't want to hear it. And vice versa. I think that some men, if you have a different values from the woman that you're with, and you do certain things thinking that it's okay, and she's like, that's not okay. So you have those confrontations, but it's it's lack of respect, but I think it's based in your other topic, meaning a difference in values.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, and I'm going to have to say my last one is just treatment, just how, like, because everybody loves at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And then because when you first meet someone or when you're in love, it's always that who's the first person to say, I love you.
Yeah.
You'll always remember that, like, dang, they said, I love you first. I may have not been there,
Mm-hmm.
but it felt good to hear that. You know what I mean? And that right there, the same things that got you guys to come together, remember those things when times of difficulty comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So I think I'm done. Yeah, I think I got that.
And not only that, like you said, when you think about treatment, and I've had this said to me a lot of times, you can never go wrong with treating people the way you want to be treated.
Facts.
So if you want somebody to make you feel special, if you want somebody to take time out and rub your feet and rub your head and rub your hands, then guess what? Do that to them too.
And if you like me,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like a sickly man.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you that up front. Don't get sick. Because the chances is I'm not going to take care of you. I
Oh
promise you.
no. Oh
But
no.
I feel like if you tell a person up front,
That's how you are.
this is how you are,
They can
and
figure out if that's something they can deal with.
exactly.
And that goes back to communication. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know. I struggle with this sometimes because I don't know if it's good or bad. Sometimes I think that I don't know if I like people telling you up front everything
Okay.
because I feel like it's putting too many demands. But at the same time, I guess it's a good thing so you know what you're getting into and you can figure out if it's something that is doable for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, sometimes it can feel overwhelming and feel like someone is putting on like I like this, I want this is what I expect to be. I'm like, look, this is too much. This is too much. Let me figure it out as we go instead of just throwing everything you want and everything you need and what your whole expectations of a relationship is at you all at once. So I guess
It's a balance.
yeah, it's a catch 22.
But once again, I don't have a problem with you telling me everything up front because I'm going to pretty much tell you what I like and what I don't like. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like chitlins.
Oh.
I don't like the smell of chitlins. I don't like pork. But if that's what you into, best believe I'm not cooking it. I'm not going to eat it with you. But at least you know where I stand. So don't take me to no pork house because it ain't going to happen.
They gotta do that on a day by themselves.
Yeah, so while I'm on the mic, let me just go ahead and do the shout out. So our number is 340-774-8255. And that's 340-774 talk. And you can reach us at radio1000.net.
Because we are streaming live, and yes, we are at that point in the show where it's time to hear your thoughts.
Yes.
So,
We gave you a long list.
yeah, we laid out everything, but I would like to go back and elaborate on our list.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
let's start with the first one was for me was trust issues
Mm-hmm.
and lack of trust. for that, I equate that to past relationship issues.
Oh,
Because when you say trust issues, if you're in a relationship, a lot of times you bring that baggage with you.
yeah, I don't carry suitcases.
Some people bring it with them, and then some people develop it in the relationship. But my thing is this: if you are in a relationship and you develop trust issues while you're with that person, there's no coming back from that to me.
It all depends because no one is perfect.
No, but trust is a funny thing.
Yeah, but even with that, your parents probably told a little white lie,
Mm-hmm.
and you still got to trust them.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a little white lie and having trust issues.
I mean, you got to give me a scenario. Let's just throw something out there.
I don't anything. If I'm in a relationship with someone and I feel the need to go through their phone, or I feel the need that I don't trust where they're at, I can't. That's not. I've never. I've never experienced that, and the minute I feel that kind of feeling, it's over for me.
Well, first of all, as me being a woman of a particular age, I
Hmm.
don't go through your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but that's what I'm saying. The feeling, like I
Yeah.
feel like I want to, or I feel like I
Mm.
don't trust you enough. I've never gone through anyone's phone,
Oh, good, good. Don't go through the phones.
but I'm saying that to say I don't stay in relationships once I don't trust you.
Okay, okay. I can
Cause
understand
for
that.
me, there's no coming back from that. Like trust is a big deal. Like I've never been with anybody, and I'm not saying that no one's ever cheated on me,
Hmm.
but I've never been with anyone that I felt that was.
See, and that's where we go back to the beginning, where if we meet and we're talking and we're telling what we like and what we don't like,
Mhm.
if you tell me up front that, hey, I have another partner, it's my option to say deuces or okay, I'm with it. So
Mhm.
I won't lose any trust value with you because you're keeping it real with me.
Yes.
So with the baggage, I'm not going to bring what I had in my previous relationship to this relationship.
Mhm.
That's like debt. You don't bring debt into the new life. Like, no, we don't do that. This individual is new. That's my new.
We in this
We
new.
got, I love the new.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
do.
you know, new car smell,
Mhm.
new babies. You just love new. So I just, I'm accept you for who you are, and I'm going to sit back and I'm gonna do a little less talking and more observing to see what you like and what you don't like.
Okay. 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 So we tackled. I don't know, and I guess. So I guess we tackled trust issues.
Hmm. Does that fall with the lack of respect? Let's go with the lack of respect.
Yeah, well, if you're doing things that causes the person not to trust you, you obviously have a lack of respect for them.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I guess for me it's like a cut and dry topic for me because I don't if I don't trust you, I can't be with you.
Okay. Okay.
I've never been, and like I said, it's a difference in your actions. You never know what somebody. I don't put anything past anyone. I
No.
think anyone's capable of anything, but if I can't be around people that I feel distrust for.
I understand that.
So,
I
but
trust myself.
yes, I trust myself. But then there's a lot of people in relationships with people that they don't trust.
Okay.
A lot of people, and it goes, sometimes it's infidelity, sometimes it's like little lies that turned into bigger lies, or it may not be something as big as infidelity, but I don't know how they do it. I know people who have taken their significant other back after they've had whole children with other people, and they're still in these relationships, and
I mean, your tolerance level is different
it's
from
different.
everybody else.
Everybody's tolerance
Yeah.
level is different.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Which
something
is
that you have
understandable.
to.
I mean, because that's where boundaries come in. Because, buddy, if you do this, deuces.
Yeah, yeah, that is so, 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 so true. Everybody's tolerance level is different. And I guess we always got to remember that. So, yeah, trust issues.
But once again, when you're happy within yourself, it's easier for you to receive that loving relationship, because men are like a, oh gosh, men are opposite. Like everything we are, your man is opposite of what you are. You might got some things in common,
Mm-hmm.
but they are totally different. Their likes are different. The way that they roll and operate is different. They don't even think like we think.
Yeah, our brains are wired different, I
Yeah. So, and that's why you always, I mean, sometimes when you upset, you guys be like, oh gosh, it's a man. Like, why am I just even upset?
think. Mm-hmm.
You just gotta check yourself sometimes. Like, girl, I'm tripping.
I still haven't grasped that yet. But another one of the reasons that relationships don't work are difference in expectations.
Okay.
I was reading a quote from Mark Twain that kind of falls underneath that category, and it's never allow someone to be your priority while you allow yourself to be their option.
Okay.
So, different couples have different expectations of each other.
Okay.
And sometimes, you're all in and they might not be, or they might be all in and you might not be. You might want to get married and they might just want to shack up, so different expectations. And if you're not having those, and I guess this is where those discussions come in.
Exactly.
So if you're not having these discussions and letting each other know what you're looking for, what you want, so I guess it does come in handy.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean, because it's first date. Do you want to get married? Yeah. You don't? Okay. Dinner over. Ding, ding, ding. Bring check. I mean, it's all about where you are
know. Mm-hmm.
when you meet this individual. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you know you want to be married, don't go dating nobody that don't want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you want to vacation. Don't go dating nobody that's a couch potato.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Yes. Facts.
don't put yourself in no predicament that you know
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna equal up, sis.
Yeah, if you know you're a real active person and you want to go hiking
Mm-hmm.
and rock climbing,
Mm-hmm.
and don't find somebody that has bad knees.
No, don't do it. Reconsider.
And they get mad at them because they can't make it up the trail.
Exactly. So who are you technically mad at? Them or
Or you,
yourself?
yes,
Like,
because you should have known
you
better.
should know
Well,
better.
be realistic.
Yeah. There you
Be
go.
realistic and be real with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's, we always talk about that. Be real with people and be real with yourself.
That's right.
So you might want that relationship, but you might know that it's not for you.
Exactly. And don't go thinking you're going to be able to change someone.
Yes.
I'm going to be able to change them.
No,
Third quarter, we're going
you
to
can't
change.
change no one but yourself. So if it doesn't look like what you're looking for,
Mm,
and you know that off the bat, let it go.
let it go.
Let it go. Don't try to change it. Don't try to put paint on it.
Don't.
Don't try to pour chocolate over it.
Oh, goodness. Not the chocolate. Not the chocolate.
It's still gonna be what it is.
Just don't give it no chitlins.
No, because that definitely smells like
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's still gonna be what it is underneath, no matter what you cover it with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know from jump that it's not for you,
Mm-hmm.
then leave it alone. Don't try to change it. Don't try to fix it. Cause all you're doing is wasting people's time and messing with people's head.
Exactly.
Cause sometimes your fix might do more harm than good.
Now, see, I think me and my mom had this conversation the other day. She had said to me, she said, well, I think you don't know a person till you live with them. I said, no, you don't know them till you divorce them.
You have said that here on the radio before. Yes, on the show. Yeah,
Divorce and
that's when you
separation
truly
brings
know the
out the
person.
true person. And it's
Because
amazing.
by that time, there's nothing left to hide.
It's not. But and then it's just so ironic that it has to go that far.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it brings out the best in people, and sometimes it brings
It
out the
does.
worst.
It does. You're right about that. But I just feel like, once again, just don't fake it. If you're not feeling a person, don't be with them because times
because
are
you're lonely
hard, or
or times are hard or you think that you could come up high.
yeah,
Yeah, no, let them go.
yeah, and that's everything.
Don't disrespect them and don't
Don't.
disrespect yourself because that's what you do when you waste people's time. That's the
Yes,
most
that's
disrespectful thing that
dangerous too.
you could possibly do to someone.
Yeah.
So once again, the number to call is 774-8255 or 774 talk. We are also streaming. You can hit up radio1000.net, click on the
Hmm.
blue radio, and you will be in the queendom.
With us.
It's about that time. We're going to take a break now, pay some bills. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. You are listening to Radio 1 AM 1000, and you are in the queendom with the ladies of Vantage Point. Don't go anywhere. And that was Understanding by Escape.
Great song.
Yes, and that brings us right into one of our next topics. Not topics, but one of the next aspects that can, hinder a relationship is communication issues.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, I think that's just a common one, just like we had a whole song about it. What I need from you is understanding. And before we went to break, we were talking about the fact that, when women are for Venus, men are for Mars. We're
Yeah.
just kind of wired differently. So even though you may want to have that positive communication, you may have be well intended. There are times when it just doesn't go right.
Mm,
And I mean, I don't know. I guess we communicate differently, but
very different.
in order to make a relationship work, you have to find some kind of common ground, so that you can have that positive feedback and positive communication to move forward. You got to be able to talk about stuff.
You got to be able to talk. What I said, the summit table.
This on the table.
You got to be able to come to the table and talk about your issues. And, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like when you wear socks to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little things, you know what I mean? Just talk it out. Like, and restrain from having your relationship break apart because you didn't communicate that. You know what I mean? Like, if you just tell them
Mm-hmm.
what you want, tell them what you need. Didn't I just sing Drew Hill? That was,
Tell me what you
I
want.
just said Drew
Tell
Hill.
me. Yeah, but I think it's so much bigger than that. I think that by the time I don't know if I know one of the issues is sometimes we hold things in.
Yeah.
And then by the time you are able to vocalize it, verbalize it, let it out, it's kind of festered.
But you should
Sometimes
never let it get that way.
it depends on people's level. Everybody's level of communication isn't the same,
Mm-hmm.
also.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have one person in the relationship that's a communicator, and you have one that isn't. So that's always difficult. You may have someone that wants to communicate but just really doesn't know how to.
Okay. Okay.
And doesn't know how to I shouldn't say doesn't know how to communicate, doesn't know how to communicate effectively. And that's effectively is the important part about that. So you have people that some people just don't know how to have positive communication. Like it's just everything is an argument.
Yeah, well, those are the people you want to restrain yourself away from because that's not what we want to do. You know, because if you want to be in a relationship,
Mhm.
it's just certain things you got to do.
Mhm.
And I think before you left, you said something about priority. You
Yes.
like even with that, have that communication about the person's priority. Where do you fit in to their life? You
Yeah.
know, is it their mother, their children, then you? You know, have that understanding so when time come, you don't be like, well, I ain't number top one on your factor. You know,
Mhm.
have that conversation. It's I'm telling you, it's all about communication. Like communicate, talk.
And stick to your word, because I think that's what a lot of people have issues with. So you're communicating, you're talking, you're voicing your expectations, but talking and delivering is they go hand in hand even though they're two different things.
Yeah,
So
well,
deliver on what you say. And if you can't, then verbalize that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Mm-hmm.
just, keep it moving and act like you didn't say you. Like,
Well, one thing about that communication, do not promise me nothing. I don't like promises.
yeah, I got that. I heard that lately.
Yeah, don't promise me
And I
anything.
never, and it's so funny. I used to get upset when people did that to me,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't realize when I was doing it to other people.
That's the that's the greatest part of life. You be doing this stuff that people don't
Didn't know,
even
but
know you're
in
doing it.
all honesty, until somebody pulled me up on it and they was like, "Look, don't, I know you mean well,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you are well intended and you want to do all these things,
Okay.
and I know that you can't." And so when you're
Mm.
saying that you can, I'm looking at you like, "Don't promise me nothing."
Don't promise.
And I'm like, what, and then I watched it happen, and again, it was all things that were outside of my control,
Oh wow.
but it was just like, wow, I didn't realize that I constantly would say, oh, okay, I could do that, or I'll do that, and never get to it. But again, not because I didn't want to, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so that person is looking at me knowing that, not realizing that I've done that several times now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and knowing that it's things that are out of my control, and not really mad at me for not doing it, but mad at me because I keep telling you, stop promising that you're gonna say something.
All
We
right.
have a caller on the line. Caller, you are live. Tell us your thoughts. Hello, good night, caller.
Good night. Something that I've realized, maybe in the past 5 years or so,
Mm-hmm.
is that if you want to know what somebody is prone to do to you,
Mm-hmm.
find out what their pet peeve is.
Okay.
You would not think they would do it. You would think that's the last thing they would do. But I've realized that actually people tend to do that. I don't know why, but
The things that they don't like is what they normally do to other people.
the thing that they don't like the most
Mm-hmm.
is the thing that they're likely to do to you.
Yes. And I trust me, I have found that to be very, very true. I was reading, I can't remember what book it is, but it's kind of like a psychological thing, because the things that you don't like in other people are basically the things you don't like about yourself.
Mm,
There's a psychological study about that. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
that's
So
interesting. Yeah.
that's why that occurs, because the things you don't like about yourself are the things that you find and pinpoint and identify in other people. So again, that becomes your pet peeve,
Pet peeve.
but it's
Right. Right.
something that you do. So unless you're honest with yourself and you look at yourself, then you'll always think that it's the other person, but it's really you.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that's the interesting thing because, as you said, they don't realize that they do it. So
Mhm.
they'll be ranting and raving about somebody else doing that to them, and then when they're doing it, just sitting there like, wait a minute, now what's going on here? You
Yep.
know, this is a thing that they say, and if you bring it to their attention, they just don't seem to realize that they do it.
They don't own
It's
it. They don't own it.
yeah.
No, and that
Yeah,
and
people are very complicated.
it's most
Yes.
most people do that. And like I said, I myself didn't realize that I was doing it. And then so after reading that study and that information, I had to sit back and look, and I realized that a lot of the things that I don't like about people are the things that I do myself.
Mm.
That's interesting. And then
Mhm.
I've been kind of looking and saying, okay, well, do I do that? And I just can't seem to place that I do, and nobody's really has pointed it out. But then I kind of realized I don't really have pet peeves.
You
So
don't.
no. Basically, everything annoys me about the same level.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a pet peeve per se, but a lot of
Yeah.
things that you pick at with people are things, believe it or not, you're probably doing it.
Yeah, but see, that's the other thing too is that there really isn't anything that I don't like about myself.
Okay.
So
Oh.
yeah, so I there's some things that, of course, there's things I can work on and whatever, but they're
So are
not
there a
things
lot of
that.
things that you don't like about other people?
No, no, that's what I
Well,
don't
again,
tend to
but
get annoyed that much about other people,
well,
and it also might depend on the circumstance or the timing, but I
mhm.
tend to also get over things, pretty quickly. So it's kind of consistent that
Yeah.
I don't have any real pet peeve. Some things annoy me slightly, and so it kind of matches.
Yes, it does.
That
It
yeah,
proves that theory correct. Since you don't have
yes,
a lot of issues with other people, you really don't have that many issues within yourself. You're pretty even keeled.
yeah, yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
I got a
That's
question to
interesting.
ask you, caller.
Uh, uh.
Can you describe to me a first date? What would you do on a first date?
On the first date,
Yeah.
oh, it can be just about anything, but I don't wouldn't necessarily do a lot of traditional stuff. Like I find dinners don't work well with me,
Oh.
and I'm not too sure how well they tend to work with other people looking at the track records
Mhm.
of where
Mhm.
relationships go. Um, it would I like something like a zoo or a where you can, you know, you're out you can, observe the person also, but when they're not necessarily knowing that you're observing them. When you go out to dinner, you're sitting across from each other. The person knows they're on on stage. They know they're
Mhm.
being
Mhm.
observed. So and that's why I find it. Dinners, I usually don't get. I don't
They're kind of
after the
awkward.
dinner. Yeah, after
Yeah.
the dinner, I'm like, I really don't know anything about this person,
Cuz
really.
we were eating. We're eating and I
We're
don't want to talk
right.
while I'm eating.
And then again, they know that they're being observed. You're right
Mhm.
across the thing from you, so what you see is more than likely not really them.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
so I'm more like some where the person can can relax and also be a little distracted. That they're not no they're not on stage on focus all the time. So they're more prone to be themselves.
Mhm.
Okay.
And just
And
keeping with the topic, I do want to ask you one other question. So, what do you think is the biggest reason that relationships fail?
oh, I think there's like 101.
Yeah, but like that
I
that
think
what
and
stands out
it's
for you?
amazing, but it's amazing that the relationships even stay together with all the
Okay.
possibilities. but I would say one big thing is communication.
Okay.
I think a lot of times when we think we're communicating,
We're not.
we're not. Communication, just like a sale take needs a buyer and a seller. If you have
Mhm.
a buyer and no seller, there's no sale. If you have a
Okay,
seller
that's
and
a
no
good way to
buyer,
look at it.
right? Communication needs a sender and a receiver.
Yes.
Mhm.
And a lot of times the person thinks, okay, I'm communicating, I'm telling this other person, how I'm feeling or my thoughts on it. But the other person isn't necessarily
Receiving
receiving
it.
them.
Yeah.
They can sometimes they don't hear,
Mhm.
and I've heard a lot of times somebody will say, oh well, I told you about so and so, and I'm like, well, did you get my attention beforehand?
Mhm.
And then,
Mhm.
then they're like, no, and I'm like, well, how could that count?
Yes.
Did I respond? And they're like, no, and I'm like, well, if I didn't respond, that should have told you
That
I
I
didn't
I
hear.
didn't hear
Yeah, I
you.
didn't hear
Yeah.
you.
Right.
That's
So
right.
you weren't communicating with me, even though
Mhm.
they swear that they were. But it's
Mhm.
like if you haven't gotten my attention, how can you say that you were communicating with me?
Okay.
And then also sometimes the words too. Different people have different understandings of what things are. That we think that what we when we say X, Y, Z, it means the same to everybody, and it doesn't. And
True.
so a lot of times when we think we're communicating, we really aren't.
Okay, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you
All right.
for that input.
We
No
definitely
problem.
appreciate you.
All right, keep it locked.
All right.
I always like the input that caller has. We have another
Yes.
caller on the line. Caller,
Caller,
you are
caller.
live on the air. Tell us your thoughts.
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Good
good evening,
evening.
Queen.
Hi, Queendom.
How you doing tonight?
I'm great. I can agree with that caller, but
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
can disagree with
Okay.
him
Tell us about it.
because you could communicate, and people, like he was saying, they understand what they want to come out my mouth. Right?
Okay.
Hopefully I speak the good English language because I don't need people who can't understand what I can talk.
Mhm.
Hopefully my communication skills are well articulated.
Mhm.
But sometimes people,
Hear what they want to hear.
exactly, point intended, and some men get confused because they take the prior and they mix everything up. But a lot of
Mhm.
times relationships fail. Some people get in a relationship, they didn't even know the person. But
Yes.
sometimes you have to spend. What I listen to a lot of old time songs. Take time to know her. It's not an overnight thing.
It's
Mhm.
not.
Sometimes people want to jump into the thing called relationship and they get sex involved too primarily and they get all confused because when men and women can't separate that. And it's, I don't do hookups. I learning about hookups and
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. So I'm kind of a learner in their generation. I'm
Mhm.
50. I'm happy to be 50 and successfully happy because I don't know
Yes.
about a hookup. I don't know about friends with benefits. I heard about the terminology. Understood. So them kind of terminology. I didn't grow up with them principles. But
Mhm.
sometimes that's what people govern themselves on. It's like what my mom used to tell me. You bite off more than you could chew.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if you want to listen and like I say, I'm from the old school generation. I grew up with LL Cool J time.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm with them who got friends with benefits. I have a 30-year-old, and I don't listen to how they talk.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we lose her?
Carla, you there?
Oh,
Oh no, we
we
lost
lost
her.
her. She was talking my language too.
Yes, and she always has the best stories and information too. But but I like what that caller is saying. It's also it's a different kind of generation.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are just taking blind leaps nowadays. They're just jumping in and hoping that
I have no problem with that.
hoping that everything's gonna be okay. So let's just jump in this pool. I hope that that the water is the right temperature. I hope that there's no skin eating parasites and everything is gonna be okay. I'm just gonna close my eyes and jump in and hope for the best.
I have no problem with that.
But when you do the only problem with that, and it's not a problem, but it's something you have to be aware of. If you're gonna jump in with blind leaps of faith, there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to know when to jump out.
You got to know.
You have to know when you jump in if this is not, I'm sorry, this is the wrong body of water. Then get out. Don't stay in there. If you know that it's not for you, which is something that we mentioned earlier. When you know something's not for you, leave it
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
You
See, I
know?
kind of know myself.
Yes.
I know who I am. I have
Mhm.
had 50 years with myself.
And you know what? That is a that's a important basis before you get into a relationship.
Hmm.
And I think that's what most people are missing. They're getting into relationships to fix what they feel they're lacking in
The
their
lacking of.
lives
Yeah.
instead of being whole within themselves
Hmm.
and find somebody that's whole within their selves so then that you guys can, just complete each other.
Yeah.
But not that you're looking for someone to fix your life.
Yeah. See, in that part of communicating, I communicate with myself. Mind, body. So all six of my personalities, we communicate with each other.
And I have a friend, and he calls it a conference meeting. So
Okay.
after you
Look at.
guys have your conference
That's
meeting,
right.
then you deal with other people. But you
Exactly.
don't bring other people into your mess
You don't.
until you finish your conference meeting.
I
And
got to
then
handle my business.
first, and then okay. And all of that leads into one of our other topics,
Okay.
having different priorities.
Okay.
And that can be an issue with relationships because you get together, you have that blind leap of faith, but when you get together you realize that these are your priorities and these are your priorities, and they really don't coincide. Sometimes you can have different priorities and make it work.
So after the commercial, we're gonna go into priorities.
We no, we could talk about it a
Okay,
little
we got some
bit.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a few minutes. But yeah, so y- yeah, when
So,
you
are you asking me priority on a totem pole, like where I fit in with him, or like priorities of life, like what you feel is this is important to you to not to be important to you? Which one is you talking about?
all of it, it
Oh,
depends.
okay.
But we have a caller on the line. Maybe the
Caller,
caller knows
caller.
what what types of priorities. Caller, you are live on the air. Tell us your thoughts.
Good evening, sis. Was just touching.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
good evening, King. How are you?
Yeah, good man. I trying to recuperate, you know.
It was your birthday.
I know. You
Yeah,
still
my birthday,
recuperating from
man.
your birthday?
Yeah, man. I drink up a lot of beer and a couple of other drinks, man. I was just mash up coming home, so I ain't been like that in a long time.
That's okay, but you had a good time, right?
Yeah,
And
man.
you made it home
A lot of
safely.
chant
That's
up
all
and
that's
thing, you know.
important.
Play some music and they were playing some great music. So,
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think about tonight's topic?
what was the topic, though?
Tonight's topic is what do you think is the biggest reason why relationships fail? What's the
Yeah,
biggest reason that you think
I
causes
gonna say
relationships
one
not to
good
work?
reason, right? I
Mm-hmm.
gonna say one thing, right? And I know
What you know?
because you don't do what I say.
Oh,
And that's but that gonna be that boy. I telling you that's the thing because every time
What?
you say to do something and you ain't doing it and like my son people
this
go
ain't
turn off from
working.
that.
This ain't
Yeah,
working.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So if
How long I gonna go on for? I don't wanna live forever in that kind of thing, you know?
so every if you do what she say
No, what he say?
or what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like pushing it but like dealing with serious situation, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like serious matters and thing, and if you know they ain't doing what you're saying, it's like okay, I saying it all the time, but they ain't checking what he's saying. So I gonna give up, man. I can't like keep saying it.
Okay,
Maybe
okay.
when I go away, I give them a time to think about it, you know, because when you there
So
and you check,
you're saying the biggest issue in relationships for you is communication because you're communicating something to them and they're not hearing or understanding or listening or moving on it at all.
yeah, because we have
Okay.
a tendency, right? When someone's speaking to us,
Mhm.
we look away and we our mind all over the place.
Mhm. They
And
shut
then when it
down
comes to
because they
see,
don't want to
yeah,
hear you don't want to hear what they're saying. They
right,
don't
and
want to
then
hear
we
what
come,
you're saying.
right, and then when it, oh, I don't want to catch on what they're saying, and like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I don't really try to ignore people like that, you know.
Mhm.
I really don't, like, if I don't want to mess with you, I won't mess with you. I try to stay away, but if we could talk about what we got to talk about. But sometimes I might say it in a kind of harsh way, you know what I mean? Say, like, hey, man, we playing all the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
We no baby, you know what I mean? We big man and woman you check, so I don't come on that level, man. Because
Okay.
when I messing up, I like people to like, hey man, tell me straight up,
Pull
you
you
know.
up and let you
Exactly.
know. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
man, let me know, man. Don't like, you know, it may be a little rough, it may be a little hard, but
Keep it real.
something, yeah, a little tough love, man. Is like, and I think sometimes you talk to them nice and
Mhm.
you say good, and
Some
then
people
you
like
like,
to get rough up.
you mean what you say? I
You
mean what
say
you
what
say.
you
You don't
mean.
want to like
Yeah.
changing, and we're doing a lot of different things. We trying to stick with something, and sometimes I think you know what they teaching us a lot of stuff. They teaching us from small and thing, and that kind of turning us away. Like when we come to deal with life and thing,
Mhm. Mhm.
because we don't get taught how to be in no relationship or anything. It would be like, yeah, man, I going with a person, man. That's my girl, you know. That's my dude, you know. We're going together.
But you
But
have to
like you
learn how to
say,
communicate.
but if you say a relationship, I having a
Mhm.
relationship, it look like you're building and building on something. But when you say you just going with some, that's like a temporary thing. It ain't like a show thing. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, you gotta be working towards
so what if
something.
we don't work out? Or you know what I mean? We gonna try hard to make it work. So what
Mhm.
if we don't work?
Okay.
So we gotta be careful. Then because if you keep we going wrong, train, then when you say wrong, you say like, well, I've been with so much people and I still ain't.
Yeah,
There's
my
nothing
grandmother
in the
used to
cup.
have a saying for that. You pick and you pick until you pick.
You pick it up.
Yes, yes, yes.
But,
Okay, Carla, we at the top of the hour. We got to go to
all right,
commercial
man.
break. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked with us. Keep recuperating.
All right.
Hydrate. Okay. We are going to commercial break. Keep it locked here. You are listening to Radio 1 AM 1000, the ladies of Vantage Point. You are in the queendom. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. With, trust issues. You are listening to Radio 1 AM 1000, and this is Vantage Point Ladies Edition. You are in the queendom with Lady D and Miss Angie Pooh.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And tonight's topic is, what do you think the biggest reason why relationships don't work?
Wow. We just call a caller. We got a call on the
Yes.
line.
So, Carla, you are live on the air. Tell us your thoughts. Hello, caller.
Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Queen. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
We're good. We're good. What do you think about tonight's topic?
Did we have this question before?
No.
Maybe in
No?
another form. Maybe we covered it in between something else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking probably intimacy, but then I'm going to fall back and say communication. I always say communication is the key. If you can't communicate with your partner, it's not going to work.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, it's communication. You have to communicate with me. That's my sticker. You have to. And then probably lying. I hate liars.
Okay, so that's that trust.
But
That's that trust factor.
yeah, but I think it's really communication
Yes.
to
And
me. And some people think it's probably if you're not equally yoked, that's another reason why separation, because you're not equally yoked and spiritually, mentally, financially, you're not equally yoked.
yes.
So that's another factor too.
Yeah, and some people are just not ready for relationships. You want to be in
Yeah.
one, but you're not. You didn't prepare yourself to
Correct.
be with someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my intake. That's my yeah.
So, Carla, can you give us
Communication.
an example of a lie that you just not going to accept? You like, no, I know you lied.
Right now
Okay.
I can't tell you a lie,
She put you on the
but
spot,
I
didn't
know
she?
I hate liars. That's one of my pet peeves.
Yes.
I hate liars.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Well, we
I mean, and
appreciate you.
then once they start lying to you, that just erodes everything. You don't
Yeah.
know. Trust. You can't have a relationship without trust.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Carla, you touched on like the one of the two main topics. I think mostly everyone for tonight has talked about communication, and then
Okay.
the other main factor is trust and communication. I think those are
Oh,
the
okay.
two
I
big.
just tuned in. I had to get my exercising in,
Oh,
so
go ahead,
I'm
girl.
just
Yes, you
Thank
gotta
tuning
make sure
you.
you get that down.
I gotta
Yes.
get, yeah, I got my body tightened.
Mhm.
Hot girl summer.
Yes. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
but
girl. Get that
okay,
milkshake
so I
right.
was yes, and I feel good when I exercise.
That's
I
Good.
good.
feel
Yes, self
wonderful.
care. Mhm.
Yes. So that was the number one, communication and
So far, I think
trust.
I think communication has been, and
Okay.
I personally just think that you can't have a relationship without trust.
Yeah, and that
Mhm.
too. That too. So
And so,
okay,
thank you so much, caller.
Well, keep it
okay,
locked.
I will.
Hydrate.
I am,
Okay,
and I'm
awesome.
famished, so I'm gonna eat now.
Okay, yes, that's
Okay.
important.
And keep us on.
Yes.
What you say?
She said, keep us on, keep us locked, keep listening.
Oh yes, I am. Yes, I'm listening. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think those are kind of the two main aspects, and they kind of feed into everything, because if you're communicating, then you'll basically understand what the person's expectations are. You'll understand what level, you are, what you're looking for, what you're moving towards in a relationship. And these are all different small issues that are covered in communication.
It's so funny because my significant other asked me, "Do you trust me?" I said, "Yeah, I trust you to mess."
Ah,
I'll make a joke like that, but no, I trust you, baby.
you trust him to be him,
Yes, I
and you
trust him to
trust
be
you
him.
to be you.
And that's the way I am.
And that's yes. And then the other part about it is trust. So,
Colors.
once you have that trust, then I think that helps everything to flow well. Oop, oh, we lost
We
our
lost
caller.
them.
Yeah.
Came and lost.
Caller, call back. So, I think communication and trust are two really, really big aspects. Um, and once you have those, it kind of covers everything else. So, like, you have difference in expectations. If you're
Hmm.
communicating, then you're going to know what their expectations are. They're going to know what yours are. You have
So
difference in priority, but if you're communicating, then you'll know what each other's priorities are, and you can figure out whether, you can balance them out, cuz a relationship is about give and take.
it is most definitely.
You also have compatibility. And again, if you're communicating well, then you'll know whether you're compatible with somebody. We
Yes.
got our caller back. Caller, you are live on the air. Tell us your thoughts.
My thoughts is number one is definitely distrust. I give distrust life. I say when you allow Mister Distrust into your home,
Uh-huh.
he never moves out.
He never moved. Yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He never moves out. If communication is a problem, you can work on communication. You
Mm-hmm.
can you can improve communication, but once Mister Distrust moves in, he never moves out.
I agree
If
with you, caller.
if someone stays long to come home, the thoughts start flowing. You
Mm-hmm.
see someone on the phone, the thoughts start flowing. So Mr. Distrust is very, very powerful.
Okay, okay. So that's your top number one reason for relationships not working.
Yeah, the other stuff, it can be worked out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that
All the other,
distrust is something that you can't get back.
nah, once it's gone, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. That's my sentiments exact. So
Right.
okay, okay, caller. We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Okay, take care. Have a good
All
one.
right, you two keep it locked.
He called it Mr. Distrust.
Mr. Distrust.
I ain't never hear that, but
That's
I'ma
all
use
right.
it.
And I appreciate as a man calling it Mr. Distrust, and there's Mrs. Distrust.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
there's ladies out there that can make you kind of look sideways like, man, who you think? Who you think you
Who
fooling?
you kidding?
Who you think
He
you
said
fooling?
Mr. Distrust. Oh
But
wow.
and that's what I was saying earlier in the show. I've never stuck around past that.
Oh.
Cause once I feel that insecurity or that distrust, or once you've made me feel like I no longer am confident in what you're doing or what you would do or wouldn't do, there's nothing past. You can't get that back.
Yeah.
We have another caller on the line. Caller, you are live on the air. Tell us your thoughts.
Color, color.
Yeah, it's me again. I gonna bring another one in. With the communication.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I gonna say when you're in sharing, and then a lack of togetherness,
Okay.
like doing things together, and
Yes.
yeah, like in sharing and in doing things together. I
You,
think that
you have to
they're gonna
operate
join
as a
like
unit when you're in a
yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And some
So
people
once
don't know how to
again
do
like that,
that.
yeah. So once you again like that, you go feel like you just feel like it's anything bad, but some people get different things, and
Mm-hmm.
if they like they like that, and you make like this, that who you like they don't really like, and it could be a lot of things, and then you see like okay man, this ain't gonna work because
Yeah, but that's where you're supposed to
we different.
compromise and
Right?
working together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You,
Mm-hmm.
you guys still get on this and share it. You know,
Okay, Colin. That's
you share, you sit down and you share your thoughts, you share your ideas, and you come up with a yes and a no
yeah.
decision. Or okay, we go see.
That's
We
a
put
that's
it
a
down
good that's a
for
good
a
aspect
little
of
bit time.
communication to look at. Yes.
Yeah. So once you ain't getting those kind of those things for me,
Mm-hmm.
be like just there.
Yes.
But I say in overall, it's good. You got to be good,
Mm-hmm.
and once you start being good, because good is a good thing. You start off doing good things to the person, and when you stop doing them, and you
You
get
got to
in a
continue doing the things that
you
you
got you
did to
got
get
you got
them.
yeah. Someday you got to come and bring up them special thing and say like, hey, let's do this,
Mm-hmm.
So to keep a joy, and sharing together and this and thing like that.
Okay, okay, we got it.
And then respect and respectful, like
Yes.
if a person don't like something and if they don't like that, what I mean, it ain't really good to do it because if you do it and you don't like it, they will make you feel it. So I
Yes.
saying like, respect
Respect
is
is
a
a
big
big
part.
aspect of keeping a relationship together. Okay, Carter.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for
All
giving us
right, man.
that input.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
All right, keep it locked.
Man, we gotta be intelligent. Intelligent is the key, so we sit down and think
Mm-hmm.
about it and make a good answer.
Okay,
And
yes.
sometimes, I can reach and thing, and you gotta stay away from reach because reach is like you
Yes, you
just
have
make
to
a
find
lot
a
of mess up.
positive way to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you just be messing up and messing up.
Okay,
All right,
caller,
man,
we
yes,
appreciate that. We have another caller on the line too. Keep it locked here with us, okay?
Thank you, caller.
All right. Caller, you are live on the air. Tell us your thoughts.
Hi, I'm calling back because I hear this conversation with trust.
Uh-huh.
Trust is something is given and is earned.
Yes.
Mm.
It's
Yes,
the
yes.
value. I give people trust. I don't study what somebody say about you. It's something you given and it's earned.
Mm-hmm.
Because I trust somebody until they give me a reason.
Not to.
So, yeah, exactly. So I cannot go based on prior in what I heard. I Google situation when you get involved because it's about women and men.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have a relationship with some other woman that he slept all the time. I don't follow that mandate. I give
Mm-hmm.
him the opportunity to trust, and the communication is very valid. But
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
trust something you earned is not given. I don't
Okay.
walk around hating or not trusting you. You give
Yeah.
me a reason not to trust you, not based on your other circumstances. Because when you and I together, is a whole different relationship. It's not your past. I'm your future.
That's
That's how
Mm-hmm.
I
right.
look
Okay.
at it. So with this trust, and I hearing people misuse it, but you could misuse it in certain connotations. But when you're talking about people, I don't know you from a can of paint, but I give you that trust value. And when you tell me, you show me not to trust you. I live in America, so I don't trust people that much. I have my open arms and my God figure, but I would give anybody the opportunity. I don't base on what somebody say about you. Because we live in a little 42 square mile. A lot of things that you say.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a fishbowl. I would derive in living the whole 52 states and experience life different from our little small fishbowl. But you
Mm-hmm.
give people a reason not to trust them. So when you bring in trust into a relationship, you have to give in that person the opportunity
Yeah.
that you can trust them because you want them to trust you for who you are. I have no trust value because I know who I am. I know who
Mm-hmm.
I am, and when you know who you is, that person only lack up if they mistrust you and you
Mm-hmm.
leave.
Tell it, sis. Tell it.
Exactly. If you have a woman of certain value, then you're not losing in the end of the day.
You're not.
You just lost a good woman. Because I'm not going out there to pay piggybacking. I'm too old for that.
Ah, that's right.
Catch me when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
you
So you
know.
feel once somebody betrays your trust, there's no getting that back.
It's not about getting it back, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to earn it.
Okay, so there's hope.
It's hope, but it's
Mm-hmm.
up to me upon the crime that you
It
committed.
depends on, yeah, it
Yes,
depends. Mm-hmm.
yes. It could be something a misdemeanor. It could be a major. Something cannot. You know, it's just according to the circumstances and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the penalty. But it's just what it is. But trust is something that is earned. You give them the opportunity without judgment, but when they give you opportunities to not be trust, it's pretty much a done deal.
Okay. Okay.
That's my perspective.
And it's
And
a
it's a
good
great
one.
perspective. We like it. Oh, did we lose him?
I think so. All right, Carla.
She
I
dropped
always
Mike.
Yes, yes, she does. She comes in, she lays it down and she says, "Boom, drop the mic. I'm out."
Yes, she out.
But again, awesome, awesome, awesome perspective, and yeah, trust is a key thing.
It's a key thing.
So far that's been, our top topics with that breakup thing. Not breakup, but why relationships don't work.
And then
Communication and trust.
when you said the trust, it goes into
It
now
goes into it.
us breaking apart. Because if we don't got that trust factor, we start to separate.
Yes. And so that falls into another category that we have, which is basically, when a relationship gets stale
Mm-hmm.
and you grow apart and you have boredom, it gets in a rut. And that's a lot of relationships break up that way. And I think that goes towards a lot of infidelity too.
Yeah.
We have another caller on the line. Caller, you are
Caller,
live on the
caller.
air. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, it's me again. I would say the other one is where you sleeping. Well, the other one is caring, you get caring, you get trust, you get unity. Yeah, the next one, oh yeah, man, is like if you don't like start like a business or a company, I mean, it seems like it'll be hard to like to stick together once you can like set up something to be to be making money and dealing with stuff like that.
Okay, so you're saying finances is another big issue?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
you gotta work on you gotta come down and base on something like that to like starting a business or just something, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
think like yeah, working together like that. So
That's okay.
I mean, most people don't really do it. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's part of a lot of breaking up, because like working together. Yeah, a lot of people have businesses and then you see they work together, they help each other, and then you see the children then come and take over the business and stuff like that. So business more is like that's one big part. So I think if we don't do that, it'll make it hard for us to like still stay together. So that's
Okay.
laws and financial.
Okay. If you're not working together financially and you don't have a nice foundation and base that can, cause lead to division in the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's part. That one part I look at, other party.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, then.
Thanks for your
Thank
input.
you.
Yeah, you welcome.
Okay. Yeah, and that was one of the topics is finances. I mean, we always know that money can always become an issue, whether it's a relationship or a marriage or, that dollar bill, man.
Dollar bill, y'all.
And then again, that goes to the person that you're with, your intentions. That it can be a good situation. It can
Mm-hmm.
be someone who's coming at you for just those purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when you don't have what they're looking for, that can lead to a breakup
Yeah.
because, you may represent that you have it a certain way And once you get that person, they realize it's not really so.
Yeah.
And so you might have that one chick that say, no romance without finance, boo.
Okay.
You got to have a job if you want to
Wanna
be with me.
Did you just say? Go ahead, girl.
So,
Yeah.
finances, I think, play always play an issue in relationships. And it can make or break a relationship. It shouldn't have to, but again, it flows back to communication. So
Mhm.
if you're communicating about your finances, if you're honestly, truthfully, which again brings you back to trust, are communicating about what your financial expectations are versus what your financial reality is, where where you both see yourself going financially.
Mhm.
If you can have these open, honest communications, then finance is not a problem. So again, it all flows back to communication and trust.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I don't think that people are really honest about their finances.
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, okay. Just
Not at
wanted
all.
to throw it
I
out there.
mean, there are a few, and those few that are honest about the people who are honest about finances are the people who don't have financial issues.
That's right.
Anyone who is not being honest about your finances because they're probably not that great.
Mm, facts.
And you probably know no one wants to tie themselves to someone who's going to be a financial burden.
I don't know because people do.
They do, and I think it happens because the discussion doesn't take place
Mhm.
and feelings start developing and you realize that the person is a good person
Mhm.
and you make that decision to stick it out with them. But I very seldom think that you have an open, honest financial conversation and you know this person is going to be a financial burden
Mhm.
and you're like, you know what, we good. Unless you really just have enough to carry you and that person. And there's some people that do that.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
got it. I have enough. You make me happy. I don't care what's in your pocket. I don't care what's in your bank account. I'm willing to carry this. That's one honest financial situation where
Mhm.
people will sign up for that. The rest of it, I think you just kind of, again, take that blind leap and then you look around and be like, well, what your pockets look like, and then you realize what it is, and then you decide to work together and see where it goes. But I think aside from that, folks with financial issues are not financially truthful.
Yeah, I don't think that they're truthful, and then it comes with the competition because it's like I
That's
want
where that
you.
competition comes in.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want someone to take me out to dinner and pay the check. Like you never do that. Or how come my gifts that I give you are bigger than the gifts you give me? And da 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 da. All the
You
kind.
start counting.
Yeah, yeah.
You start
So,
counting.
and that'll
Yeah.
break that little bond that y'all had. That'll start breaking it down into we got a financial
Yeah, once you start
problem.
once you start counting what's coming out, going in and out of somebody else's pockets, Houston, we have a
We
problem.
got a problem.
Yes. But we could talk about that problem when we come back from our commercial break. It's about that time. You are listening to Radio 1 AM 1000 and you are in the queendom with the ladies of Vantage Point. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. That was Gladys Knight and the Pips, neither one of us. And you are listening to Vantage Point Ladies Edition, Radio 1 AM 1000. And tonight's topic is what are the biggest reasons why relationships don't work?
Mm, mm, mm.
And regardless of whether it's communication, whether it's trust, whether it's finance, you got to know when to say when.
Mm.
And sometimes neither one of us want to be the first one to say goodbye.
Oh, she said it. She said hurting and pretending.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So when is when?
When is when? When is when?
When you stop talking.
Yes. Yes.
When you're not sleeping in the same bed.
Mm-hmm.
When you know he's with Big Booty Judy.
Yeah, that's a clear indication of when it's time to say when.
When you checking the phones.
Don't check the phone.
Don't check the phones. Don't
check
check
the phone.
social media. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't follow. Don't stalk.
Yes.
Don't.
And that's another topic. Well, we talked about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, social media being an issue. Yeah, when you start checking people's page, and I don't even know how to do that stuff.
Good.
I still haven't figured out. I don't know how to stalk someone on social media. I call other people and ask. I was like, well, can you check into?
Oh, wow.
And they'd be like, well, this is what I saw. Because I don't know how to do it. I'm not a social media person.
Okay.
So it's just like, if you're doing something on social media, it's going to go over my head. Because I don't. But I'm a strong believer. I don't care where you're doing it, whether it's social media, whatever happens in the darkness, at some point will come to light.
I firmly believe.
So if you think you hiding, you got another thing coming. It's going to come out somehow.
It's okay, because if that's the life you want to live, I know how to wash, fold, box up.
It's going to come out somehow, because our community is very small and we like to talk. So in talking about talking, you can always give us a call and talk to us. The number here is 774-8255 or 774
talk.
Yes, or you can hit us up on the live stream, radio1000.net. You click on the little blue radio and you will be in the queendom with me, Miss Lady D, and Miss Angie Pooh.
Yeah, I think that, some of the big things to know that it's over, when it's over, you can tell.
And I guess, too, it goes to what you were talking about earlier with respect.
Yeah.
Once you've crossed, there's several lines that, when you cross that, I guess for me too, when you cross that line of mistrust and you cross that line of disrespect, and like the caller earlier was saying, for her, it would have to depend on what kind of lie or mistrust. So there's some things you may be able to come back, but there's that line of distrust and there's that line of disrespect that once you cross that, there's no coming back.
Yeah, most definitely.
And once you do that, then it's time to say goodbye. And some people hold on, and that's why they end up arguing and fighting and fussing, and it gets messy. But they knew 3 months before that they had crossed that line and it was over.
Yeah, but I feel like, once again, and we say this every week, treat people the way you want to be treated. And don't waste nobody's time, because time is very valuable. It's very valuable. And with that being said, this is some of the reasons why people break up.
Yes. Well, and when one of the topics that we did talk about is when you have somebody that has that narcissistic personality, then all logic goes out the window.
Yeah, the fingers. You.
Yes. So it's up to that other person to recognize that that's who they're dealing with and walk away.
And it should be okay to walk away.
A lot of people have a problem with it. A lot of people sit down and think about what they've put into the relationship, what they feel like they're owed, depending on how long the relationship has been, whether you own things together, you have children. So a lot of people stay in relationships for a lot of reasons, not realizing that none of those reasons are legitimate reasons to stay in a bad relationship.
Yeah, you got to love yourself. And when loving yourself, you have to know when is when. And you have to say it. Like, you have to really live it and say it. And speak to your inner self and be like, look, I'm tired. I have had enough. And you best to believe, everything that you go through, you can get through. You can get through.
Yes, you
can win.
Not only that, just like anything you can get yourself in, you can get yourself out of. It is okay to leave a relationship, and there's never a good reason to stay in a toxic, a negative, or abusive relationship, whether it mean physical or emotional. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of materials, there's no house big enough. And if you're staying for your children, trust and believe you're hurting them more than you're helping them by staying in a failed relationship.
Yes, you are.
So there is never, ever, ever there's no good reason to stay in a bad relationship.
Never.
None.
Never.
None. If anyone knows of one or they think they do, give us a call. 774-8255, 774-TALK.
Talk.
You can also catch us streaming live on radio1000.net. But there's no good reason to stay in a failed relationship, and it just hurts. It hurts everyone. It hurts the individuals in the relationship. It hurts their loved ones around them, because it just becomes more and more toxic. Things don't get better with time, they get worse.
And you know how I always look at relationships
As a business,
as a business arrangement,
yes.
as a job.
So you got to know when it's
You
time.
gotta know when you gotta quit that job.
when you got to quit the job.
You gotta know
Or
when
you
you
know,
get a
gotta-
raise.
Yeah, you got to know when you got to fire that
You know,
employee.
exactly.
Yes, because if you leave a disgruntled and bad employee in your company, they will take you down from the inside.
Yes. And I know
Mhm.
how to give it 2 weeks notice.
She said 2 weeks notice.
I'm seriously, you got to start looking, because at my job, I know I want my boss to respect me. I
Yes.
want my boss to have boundaries.
Mhm.
I'm trusting my boss to make sure my paycheck is there every week.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's all I'm saying. Just keep it as business aspect.
Okay, you and I guess you can look at it in any way, and that's a good way to look at a relationship.
Yeah, that's the way
Nothing
I look
wrong
at
with it.
all my relationships.
It's a business transaction.
It's a business transaction.
You have to have good communication
You
when you're
gotta
at
have
work.
good communication.
You have to be compatible with
Mhm.
your work environment.
In your
Mhm.
field.
Yes. Okay. You have to have your priorities and perspectives in
to.
order,
You have to.
and they have to be aligned with the company's,
Hmm.
objectives.
When you on my watch, we need to be doing work.
Okay. So, no, you just made me a believer, because sometimes you say things and
Mhm.
then you have to have a full understanding and scope of it. So I just went down the list of all the things that are important and that can make or break a relationship.
Yes.
And those are all aspects that can make or break a a job or
A job.
position.
I've been seeing it ever since
So-
we've been here.
So a relationship takes work.
Yes, it does.
You need to put effort towards it. You need to make sure that it's a life goal,
Mm-hmm.
as is a career.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, all right. Relationship is a business transaction. I got
Yes,
you.
it is. That's the way I look at it.
And if you get in what you get out what you put in.
That's right. 401k. What?
No, I got you.
That's the way I look at it.
I'm trekking with you. I'm trekking with
Yes,
you with this one.
that's the way I feel. Like, we be good. We're good. Like, we gonna grow. Our business gonna grow. Like, we're gonna grow together. We're gonna vacate together, because we're gonna do business transactions on our vacay. Like,
Yeah, and that's what one of the callers was talking about. He was like, we need to work together.
we gotta work together.
Yes. Well, we have a caller on the line.
Caller.
You are live on the air. Tell us your thoughts.
Me again, man. I enjoying your talk,
Okay.
I like to ask
We just mentioned you, because we were saying you were talking about doing business and working together, and we were saying how a relationship is like a business. So yes.
Yeah, it seems like, like if you have one, if you get with somebody and you see a potential, so you bring an idea and say, hey, being a business position, and maybe they might, who you is, man, who you coming with them, so it's an idea, but you know what I mean, if we say what we're going to do, we could work towards it, for a little money, and you know what I mean, and we work towards it and start a little business. Maybe I go help the woman start the business, or she could help me start a business, so we could have like two different businesses. We could have people working for her. You know what I mean? So like it's like you know what I mean. You're like you're giving back. You know what I mean? It's a business person, so. And that's what we need too, we need people for business, because like family and business and have different things. So I think that was kind of lacking, but it could be a good thing if we go have like a program like what we could do, like when we having problems and things we could do and things we could say, to calm the situation, because you having a lot of people breaking up and they leaving the children them, because I been in foster homes and well then foster parents them were good to me, but I been in a situation or some situation and for young children it will be it, you know
Uh-huh.
so it's trying to see if they what we could do to make the family them stay together or make sure like do a good thing so you could get good programs for the children them at least they could grow up and because one thing with me when I saying like when I coming home sometimes like certain things I get upset about but I don't like to argue in the house what I mean being loud talking and sometimes what I mean when man and woman sometimes for certain situations they get real vexed. Mostly the man, they get real vexed and it's like half and you want to like mash up things, you know what I mean? So, we got like, what I mean? We got to take a deep breath and know like, hey man, let's support in a relationship, try to understand why, you know what I mean? Like you say, you got to sit down and talk instead of just be angry because things ain't really went like your way. Because it could be a whole lot of things, you know what I mean? It could be like somebody like have a sickness, they could be tired, and it could be a whole lot of things they used to do it and then they stray away from it. So what people will say like, is go to always go to the doctor and take a checkup and make sure your health and your mind and things because even with life, something with stress, like the saying like you like to have a good relationship with your boss, But some when I was young man, I used to work my in the sun. I used to get caught up a lot of. I tell you, the man was rough and women, so the status of everybody using them words, you know what I mean? So I think using them word is like a disrespect. Sometimes we don't really be like that, but you know what I mean? People are just. But I mean, if you just get a job and somebody starts swearing at you and things, you need to fly off and you go start swearing back, it's gonna be hard for people like if you do something good and they want to like start doing that sort of thing.
Okay, yes, I understand,
Yeah.
caller.
So,
Mhm.
so you know what I mean? To be when you come home as a man, to come home you want to bring joy in the house, my son. Like as a man, you check
Mhm.
even though regardless sadness, don't think because sometimes things happen, but you want to bring joy and keep that joy up because with woman like happiness, you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely,
So we
definitely.
gotta keep the queen them like feeling like a queen and that's
Then you
I
got to
think that's
keep
the
the
big thing
happiness in
about
the
it,
house.
and
Yes.
as you gonna make it set you up like a king, so you will
Mhm.
be like and then you live a long life. People who live like that you see them they looking good,
Yes, definitely.
Just
No stress. No stress.
yeah. Keep a good thing, no fighting. He used to smoke cigarette, right?
Okay.
And one thing I never do when I come in the house, I look back about myself. I never smoke the cigarette in the home.
Mhm.
Even I will up to a pack of cigarette, but I never have taken it. Like I come in the house,
Mhm.
I would never smoke a cigarette.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
it's like principle.
Okay.
Somebody don't like something, we shouldn't be. We should try your best to like
Try your best.
we
Yes.
can stop. We can stop it, man. And keep a good
Try
thing.
your best to cause less stress. Okay, caller.
Yeah.
All right. I
Okay,
appreciate
man.
your input. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you went.
Okay, keep it locked.
Thank you.
All right. I like what what the brother was talking about. And trying to be amicable with the person you with. If somebody don't like something, don't do
To
it.
avoid the breakup.
To avoid the breakup, yes. And then, but what he was talking about too is something that was on the list. We didn't really touch much about it. He said something about not being angry or not coming in and the way you deal with certain things. And so you also have those people who may start off being It may start off as a good relationship, and then you realize people have issues.
Yeah.
Whether it be anger issues, whether it be gambling, any kind of secret addiction, whether it turns up that, it may seem like you just having a couple drinks with the guys, but the longer the relationship progresses, you realize, okay, he may have a little problem. You might figure out, okay, this person smokes, or so there's a lot of little quirks that might not be a big deal in the beginning, in the start of your relationship, but once you're moving towards something maybe a little more permanent, you might have to sit down and really ask yourself, is this something I can live with?
Yeah.
Is this habit that this person has? And the habits are not always external habits. They may be, just behavioral habits.
Yes.
Are these things that I can deal with for a lifetime? Because that's what you're moving towards, a marriage, and till death do us part and all this other stuff. Can you deal with this from now until death, or more paper or paperwork? Yeah, so you can't do it no more. So those are also important aspects, and those are some things that break up relationships.
Yeah.
You get with somebody and it may not be as big of a deal at the time, because you're still in that puppy love stage.
Oh,
But
yeah.
once you get out of that puppy love stage, and I think we talked about this on another show, you start to see all of those little quirks, and then that's how you know whether it's true love.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really love someone, do you really care how they chew? If you really love someone, like, there's things you can work past, you can work on, you can work through. But that, I think, is a determination of your true feelings for the person,
Mm-hmm.
the true potential to move forward with that person, and just if you have that staying factor, or if some of these things are deal breakers.
Yeah. I understand. I
So
understand. So, with that being said,
I think it's time to wrap it up.
let's
I
wrap it
think
up.
we've discussed it all. The main factors that I've heard for tonight, from us as well as from our callers, is it all comes down to trust, communication, and I will add respect into that.
Yeah. You have to add respect.
I think respect and trust go hand in hand,
Okay.
but I think it deserves its own mention.
Okay.
So I would say communication, trust, and respect. And those are the key reasons why relationships sometimes fail.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the key things that if you work on, and you can make your relationship work. I always love to end it on a
Me
on a
too.
positive
Me
note.
too.
If you want the relationship to work, I think those are the three aspects that you can focus on, and they can be the key to success for any relationship, because they encompass everything. Everything you Communication is the key to everything. Trust is the key to everything, and so is respect.
That's right.
So once you can communicate your thoughts, your wants, your needs, express yourself in a positive manner, which is communication. And I think that's another problem that couples have. They express themselves, but it's in a very negative and condescending, disrespectful manner. And
And all of
that's
those things are the key of having a successful relationship
if you flip it.
if you flip it.
Yes.
And with that being said, like, I feel like we covered the biggest reasons why
Mm-hmm.
we break up. And I just want to leave with a little let's stay together type of thing. I want to leave like that. Ladies, put on your red outfit, and men put on some smell good,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all dance around like nobody's watching and just love one another. That's what I say, and that's what I'm gonna close with.
Yeah, and I guess, we, like you said, we touched on everything, and it's just treat people the way you want to be treated, and respect each other, try to communicate in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
and you should everything should be, it should work out, and those are once you can address the key reasons why people break up, you can figure out how to How to stay together. So, with that said, it's our time. Thanks for joining us here on Vantage Point Ladies Edition. Thanks for joining us, Queens in the Queendom. We'll be here again next week, Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The guys will be here Tuesday and Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we will have another great topic for you guys. Thanks for joining us this evening. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. Keep it locked to Radio 1 AM 1000. And thanks for joining us in the Queendom.
Good night.
Good night.
There you have it, my friends. But I would like to know your opinion. What is the biggest reasons why relationships doesn't work? Thank you for taking some time to enjoy my view. Sociable. Deuces.